Hello everybody, welcome to another YouTube video, and today we have another Zenless Zone Zero drip marketing. And with that means I get something to talk about. Anyway, I'm Robelle Autonomy, and today we are here to go over the newest agent record for Zhao. Let's take a look at it real quick right over here. Alright, here we go.
Just call me Zhao. Don't let my appearance fool you. My bite is more ferocious than it looks.
Alright, so first off, before we even look at what she is, like what her role is and what type she is, I have to say her voice acting is actually peak. It's so good. I don't know, guys. She's just being... This is like the most perfect casting ever. The voice actor killed it. Anyways. And there it is. So... we had theories that she was the Void Hunter. She's not. But she was drip marketed first. Here we have a first Ice Defense S rank. Is she our first Ice Defense? I think she is actually. Wait, let me think. Then we have Ben, we have Seth, we have Caesar. There's not too many defense agents in the game, thinking about it. But also, with that, defense has kind of in the community right now, it has a bit of a negative connotation. People associate defense with being bad, which I can understand that. Alright, Caesar, our premium S rank defense agent. Even I say she kind of needs some buffs. And so people are like, oh no, defense might be bad. But I think Zhao's gonna turn it around. And I'll tell you why in a moment here, but so far we have the S rank defense Ice agent. Ice is very particular for a choice here. I'm guessing she's probably gonna want to be teamed with Yadhari, because if you look at who's upcoming, we got Dialin, we got Manue, and they're both in Krampus, and we know they're kits now because they did the live stream, and Dialin's a stunner that basically gives you a second ultimate. And then Banue is a fire rupture character, and so how does Ice defense fit into the mix? And my guess, she just doesn't. Either that or she does somehow, I don't know. But and the big thing to keep in mind is the role of defense isn't exactly set in stone. The only thing that's been kind of consistent is a lot of them have been creating shields. But like all their shields are completely unequal. Like Caesar's shield is like basically indestructible, actually except in all the endgame where all the enemies one-shot it. But Seth's shield is kind of just there. Like his value isn't his shield, it's not even his anomaly proficiency buff. If you look at Seth's kit and you look at the numbers, that's the board by the numbers, it's his anomaly builder. Which there's not really a number in his stats for that. But also, the big value for Seth is he does a lot of days. Like, he's basically a stunner in disguise. Ben also kind of wants to stem a little bit, but he gives crit rate. I feel like Ben is kind of... People are saying he's a DPS, and I'm kind of like, I'm so mixed on that. But I also have seen Ben score like 40,000 on Deadly Assault, so I don't even know. I don't even know, but... I think Zhao is gonna turn it around for defense. I think she's gonna be very valuable, and I'll tell you why, guys. The reason is because of what she is. You have a little character in what is the Gunnar game, right? So she's not exactly Gunnar material, and if you view her as that, well... wow. But moving on from that... we have this little character that's basically just cuteness, right? So, it already doesn't have the main appeal... it's not the main appeal of Zenless Zone Zero, but it is a thing that draws a lot of players in there, right? So she's missing that. She's missing the fan service. She's a furry. Alright? So no fan service, and then she's a furry. And now she's a defense agent. So at a glance, you can definitely tell that a lot of people are really probably gonna be on the fence about this character. And that's where I think she's going to be supremely meta. I think she's going to be very valuable for the team. I think they're going to go crazy with her animations. They're going to go crazy with her kit. she's gonna be incredibly valuable because she is a harder sell in the other aspects. For people that just want cuteness, well, I don't just want cuteness, but I am one of the people that very much enjoys cuteness. It's one of my favorite aspects of Zenless Zone Zero. The cute characters are just adorable. And by all means, she's probably one of the cutest characters in the game. And if you've seen her in the story, you know for a fact that she is really, really contrasty with how they portray her characters. She has this adorable appearance, she sounds cute, she conducts herself prim and proper, but she is a ruthless businesswoman. She is absolutely a danger to you if she can benefit from your downfall. Alright, poor Salumax got absolutely fried by her. She took over an entire company in the span of like a couple days. Not even, maybe a couple hours. She is an absolutely worthless businesswoman. I don't know what her role in Krampus is, but he is our third Krampus character. The devs have already gone out of their way to explain that Krampus is essentially the judges of tops. They go and execute their judgment upon people that they attach within the company that are abusing their power. So they're the ones kind of holding cops together. So very much so, I think because of this, they've also noted that a lot of the Krampus characters, a lot of the people that are part of Krampus are a little bit eccentric, and Zhao is no exception. Anyway, now that we've seen her legit marketing, and also it is animated, she's an S rank. I said that already, but that is how we know that she's an S rank. It's not a PNG sliding around. That's a whole puppet animation. It's live 2D. It's Spime, it's whatever it is. They animated her, and she is adorable. Let's take a look at her other stuff going on here. So here we are, Agent Record Zhao. Let me take a look here at the super full screen so we can get a closer look at the art and design of this character. So since you're here, how about we cut a deal? Zhao, like I said, ruthless businesswoman. You're calling me Shooty Denny's of unknown origins a gift of destiny? How romantic, with destinying some poor fool you can push around and take what you want from. It only gazes upon worthy souls to bestow its rewards. On the contrary, it will also reclaim everything from the unworthy. Do you think you have enough chips to face judgment? And there she is, that's Zhao. And so you closer look at the art here. I mean, we already got a pretty good look in that live 2D. The drip marketing, but where the bench falls, judgment awaits. That's right, Krampus is the judges, the juries, and the executioners, and I kind of think that's really cool now that we kind of have a little bit more of a look at them, but they haven't really had the chance to shine in the story yet. I do like that the devs have been really building up that they've been showing up in the story little by little, but we don't really know much about them yet. They haven't had the chance to shine, and with the upcoming version 2.4, we will get a good look at them. And Zhao is drip marketed not for 2.4 but 2.5, so we actually got the drip marketing very early. Anyway, looking at the art here, definitely a very adorable character. I really like that they kind of went for this blue or kind of turquoise with orange. Those are very complementing colors with each other. I mean, orange tends to complement blue directly, right? But they kind of had this more turquoise, and as a result, the orange is definitely a little less vibrant to keep that good contrast, to give that good complement to each other. I love that they went for the bright slur. It's also really interesting seeing that in Season 2, they're giving us two rabbit Thyrans. They gave us Alice, who is a fully human Thyran. She has really small ears, and her bunny aspects aren't super duper visible. But Zhao here, full bunny, gigantic ears. Alright, the big cartoony hands, very, very cute. Kind of reminds you of like those classic cartoon characters. Right, I think like kind of the Scott Pilgrim kind of like proportions with her. Or maybe like the kind of Penny and Stocking Powerpuff Girls. Well, not really Powerpuff Girls because they don't have fingers. But, it has that kind of big head and then kind of, elongated body. Not fully chibi, but still a very, very squishy looking. Really, really like that kind of design aspect. Anyway, here we have their Hoyolab page. So we already read this over on their Twitter, but let's take a look at some of the other stuff, because as per usual, they always give us new wonderful details. Alright, so Let's take a look at what the other characters have to say about our good old Zhao here. So Dialin has to say this, the unbeaten legend? If you ask me, she's just a one-track mind. No need to slap such a corny title on those bunny ears of hers. So, Dialin kind of has this view that Zhao is very, focused on her goals, one-track mind. And then Damien has something to say here. Alright, Damien, our goats. Alright, the NPC that we're praying becomes playable, but who knows? Who knows? Even though an opportunity presented itself, it's way too early to breathe easy. Luckily, I could still barely procure her stinted parts with my skills. And Damien does talk about this in the story. He does talk about this in the story. He views Zhao as his senior because he was put in a very sticky situation when Cops is essentially falling apart with everybody that was at the top of the ladder getting either killed or getting exposed for extreme crimes. All kinds of stuff was happening, and Damien was like, dang, I'm in the crossfire. And luckily he was able to fall under Zhao, and she was able to kind of keep him safe in that regard, keep him out of that crossfire. And Emporium, just an intern who had never seen an order like this. And as we all know, Zhao is indeed very rich because of her business endeavors. She's always treating us to food, which I kind of like that, but it also kind of makes me wonder, does she have an ulterior motive? She's really buttering us up with all this fancy food and constantly treating us to food. Does she just like us, or does she see an advantage, a potential play she can make? Are we gonna owe her in the future? Who knows? Alright, so stir-fried peppers and pork without pork, scrambled eggs with tomatoes, won't be eggs? Is this a sweetie? What are we supposed to do with this order? Okay, you know what? Never mind. I guess Zhao has some pretty specific tastes, but I'm guessing she just wants the veggies because she's a rabbit. Stir-fried peppers and then no pork. Alright, the eggs and tomatoes, but no eggs. I just want the tomatoes. That she's a veggie lover. Or is it fruits? Fruits and veggies. You know what I mean? Anyway, the Murky Pasta has always believed in fairness. Alright, the last one for the past bit has always been unknown, and this is always throwing me off. People are just weights of different sizes. You don't carry enough weight to yourself. How can you expect how can you expect the scales to tip in your favor? Who is this? Who is in the Dialin one? In the Banyu one? The last one was some unknown thing, and it's like completely unrelated. Who are they building up? The devs did confirm we're gonna see more Krampus members. The 3 ones that we have seen so far are not all of them. So I'm kind of excited to see who else they bring to the table. All of them have been vastly different, right? I mean, with Spook Shack, all of them were pretty vastly different as well. I mean, some people would argue Yidhari and Lucia have kind of a similar outfit, but in terms of like the entire character as a whole, all of Spook Shack was very different. In an Oboe Squad, which is another Season 2 faction, now they were all pretty samey in terms of like, maintaining their aesthetic. And I think the same applies to Yunquei Summit, where everyone kind of has that mystic outfit, and they're all kind of martial arts related. But Spook Shack was all over, and I think Krampus is also an over, because Dialin is, Miss Girl with the phone, and then we have Flippin' Banyue, who's just a robot, a purge unit that's used for destruction. And then also, like, he's from Yunquei Summit, so it's even weirder that he's working for Krampus. We still don't have the explanation for that, right? Because he was the Yunquei Summit, he's the Yunquei Summit member, from my understanding. Or maybe not Yunquei Summit, but specifically that faction of mystics. Maybe not our Yunquei Summit branch that we're in. Not the one in Phalum Heights, at least. I don't know. I don't know how large scale the mystics are. I know there's another name for the faction, but it's not coming to my robot brain right now. But without further ado, let's look at what else they have to show for Zhao. We've already seen that. Never mind, that's everything. I think I'm pretty excited for this character, but the problem is her banner placement is very rough. Because we know the Void Hunter is coming. We know Yi Sheng Guang, little Zhao Guang is coming. She is around the corner. She is gonna arrive any second now. And by all means, we might be fried in terms of polls. I'm gonna move over to here so I can just play this in the background while we discuss. Alright, I want to talk about the upcoming polls. Alright, what is the smart move for most of our players here? To be honest, the smart move really just depends on your account. But I do think that Zhao is probably something we want to save for. But also, I want to propose some ideas, some theories that might happen. Like, as I said before, I think they're gonna make her meta. just to sell her more. But here's the thing, alright? This is gonna be the Void Hunter patch. Now, there's no confirmation that Yisheng Guang is gonna be 2.5. But with how much they've been building her up, I feel like it's pretty obvious that she has to be in this patch. Now, 2.4, we have Dialin and Banyue. Alright, we also know that Banyue's data is gonna be a lot shorter, so we have this one patch to save essentially. Dialin seems to be pretty valuable. A lot of people are saying she's OP, but if I'm gonna be honest, looking at her kit, just from, you know, objective perspective, if you look at what we've seen in the live stream, I think she's probably gonna be pretty in line with our current stunners, but that doesn't mean she's bad. One of the biggest troubles with my account is I feel like I don't have enough stunners a lot of the time, especially with the current Deadly Assault. We need 3 teams. Alright, I feel like I need more stunners. I didn't pull Jafufu and I didn't pull Lighter, and those are the only stunners I'm really missing, and I feel like I'm getting cooked. So, by all means, we probably do need to have another stunner. So I think Dialin is pretty valuable. Banyue is in a really rough spot because, well, his banner is not even 2 full weeks long. Because 2.4 is gonna be a week shorter than our regular patch, so that we can get straight to the Void Hunter patch. And so, this is the theory I want to propose, and this is what I think, alright? If you watch this far, I'm gonna entrust you with some pretty ingenious knowledge. Now, again, I want you guys to keep your expectations in line, alright? We don't want a repeat of the Wuthering Waves anniversary where everyone was expecting free Zani. Alright, that was absurd, and I think we shouldn't be expecting this for Zenless Zone Zero either. But, at the same time, these devs have been, I don't want to say generous, like people are, oh, they're giving us so many polls, but they're also giving us so many things to pull for, that having more polls still equates to like the same value as other gacha games, if that makes sense. But 1.4, which is that was the Void Hunter patch back in Season 1, they released Miyabi, and they released Harumasa at the same time. Alright, now is the big thing, okay? They were at the same time. Miyabi's banner was the entire patch. The entire 6 weeks. So here is where I think things get a little crazy. They drip marketed Zhao first. But I think we're gonna get a repeat. I think it's gonna be Zhao and Yisheng Guang, Lu Zhao Guang, Blang Guang. She is gonna be releasing at the same time as Zhao, I think, and probably last the duration of the patch. And here's what I'm suggesting. We got Harumasa for free, but his W engine was so good for him, it was kinda like you kinda wanted to pull for his M1 or his W engine. So them giving him to us for free was kinda like, oh, that's nice and all, but if you really wanted to take advantage of the free unit, you had to still pull. I think that's gonna be what happens for Zhao. I think we might be getting a free copy of Zhao. I think she's gonna synergize well with Yisheng Guang, and that's gonna incentivize people to pull for Yisheng Guang, and it's gonna incentivize people to pull for Zhao's W engine. Now again, I don't know her kit, I don't know Yisheng Guang's kit. I just think her being an ice defense agent is a bit odd. I think, like again, I said, it sounds like she's gonna be a Yudhari teammate. But I think there might be a plot twist in regards to Yisheng Guang. I think Zhao might be a lot more important to her kit than we realize. Which is why I'm like, maybe they give her to us for free, but they make her W engine. Maybe not a necessity. Actually, I'll be honest, a lot of Zenless Zone Zero characters, their W engine feels like a necessity. Like if you look at Dialin's W engine, that thing looks pretty good. But do we actually know about it yet? Well, I'll be honest, I look at some of these in regards to the W engine. So I know what Dialin's W engine does, it seems like a requirement. It's not a requirement naturally, but it definitely helps, and I think the same thing will apply to Zhao here. Anyway, that's what I think about Zhao. I'm really excited to see who they drip market next. It's gonna be Yisheng Guang. There's no way it's not her. If it's not her, I will be very, very surprised, and I mean, they might throw a wrench into my plans, because, again, Alright, I talked about 2.4, Dial and Banyue. 2.5 is probably the Void Hunter patch with Ishim, Guang, and Zhao. And we know the Angels of Delusion are coming as well. They're probably most likely 2.6. And why do I say that? I will tell you guys literally why. Alright, I have the math, I have the predictions, and it's not even predictions, they basically just announced it. If the Angels of Delusion have their own Twitter page already. Actually, I'll even pull it up. Give me 1 second. Alright, and here we are. We have the Angels of Delusion. Alright, this is their official Twitter. It is indeed their actual Twitter. They are posting, they're teasing the characters. We've already seen them. Wait, don't open that up. That could have been bad. I didn't. You never know what's in the comments. Don't ever click on that. Anyway, I want to bring this up. Alright, it says right here on their banner, 2/3 angelsofdelusion.exe. It says so right here, clear as day. Now, that means February 3rd. Alright, and if you line it up, if you go month by month, alright, February 3rd, let me travel into the future here. Alright, that is the Tuesday night. Alright, and that just so happens to match up with the update for 2.6. And how does it match up? Because we know 2.4 is 5 weeks long. If we assume 2.5 is 6 weeks long, that lands it exactly on that Tuesday night. Yeah, Tuesday night. And typically, Zenless Zone Zero is scheduled to, launch its updates on Wednesdays, at least as of late, but it's been shifting it around a little bit here and there. But it's typically the Tuesday night, so I think if they debut the night of the update, that's gonna match up with this date here. So that's the thing. If you're an Angels of Delusion fan, you're about to have a rough time. I'm a big fan of them, and I'm gonna have the roughest time. Because we have Dialem and Banyue. I've already decided I'm sacrificing Banyue. Actually, with how they're treating him, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't give us a free Zhao, but instead it's a free Banyue. But then that lines up weird, because he would if he's in 2.4, I feel like they would have announced that in the live stream, but they didn't. So I don't think that's gonna be the case. I think we're gonna get a free unit during the Void Hunter patch. It's probably, I want it to be Zhao just because I kind of want the Labubu looking little bunny thing. I just think it's funny. But also, I mean, by all means, if we do get a free unit, it could just be Harumasa again. Like, they'd be like, here everyone, M1 Harumasa, now he's gonna stay in the meta. You needed a teammate for Seam, here though! Like, that could be the case, like, I don't know. Or they could just give us an A rank or something. There's also the possibility, I don't want to give up on him, but Yi-Siu-1 could still be playable. Like, we've seen him in the trailer, and it looks like he's just gonna die, but he might also live, right? I mean, there's only two options. Either we rescue him or he dies, either or. And I think people are sick of the dying sibling trope, so I feel like they're gonna make him live. And so he can still be playable. He could just be an A rank, right? I've tried wanting to be an S rank, but we'll have to wait and see. And yeah, that's just basically it. I'm cooked, to be honest. We have the Void Hunter patch is gonna be Zhao and Yisung Wong, and the right after we're gonna get hit with the triple deluxe Angels of Delusion. I still don't know if any of these people are gonna be, like, they could just be like, actually, we're making an exception this patch. We're dropping 3 S ranks. You know how scary that would be? I don't think I would have enough pools for that. But we'll see what we can do. I'm a light spender, so I feel like I should be able to get everything I want, but, it depends on my gacha luck, you know what I mean, guys? Anyway, I've yapped for like almost 23 minutes now. I don't know how I milked flipping the Zhao. I milked the Zhao drip marketing for 25 minutes, but I did want to discuss the potential future of Zenless Zone Zero, the potential characters that are upcoming. Who should we be pulling? I really think if you want the Ishim Guang stonks, be prepared to pull Zhao. If you invest in Yahari, Zhao might be the wave. But I don't know. Physical and ice don't typically work well together. And by all means, I don't know if Ishim Wang is gonna be physical, but I saw a leak that said she's supposed to be that, so that's why I said physical. Alright, none of that prediction stuff. No, that is fully, I think they said that. I remember reading a tweet. So that's basically it. That's me covering my butt. Alright, if you guys are wondering, dang, Robelle said that with confidence. It's cause I saw a leak. I don't even know if it was credible though. She might not be physical. She could be even. Well, no, I feel like physical makes sense though. I saw a tweet about it, and my logic is telling me that it makes sense because, well, Ether we already have Yishuan, Ice we have Miyabi, Fire they just dropped Banyue. No way they're power creeping him, right? Actually, no, they would. He's a male unit, all right. We all know the ZT devs. I don't know where we have this idea that they don't like the male characters. They love the male characters, guys. Have you seen Hugo? Have you seen Lighter? And even Mato, he's at A rank and he's like, I'm clearing the end game with them. And I'm not even M6, I'm M5s. And I don't even have his team. I have Lucia with a free-to-play W engine that doesn't really save the day. I don't have Jafufu, so by all means, if I can clear the end game with my totally scuffed Minato, then yeah, they give him a pretty strong kit. You just gotta play him right. Anyways, that's it, that's all. I would love it if you guys let me know down below what you think of Zhao. Are you gonna be pulling her? Are you excited? Are you going to be skipping, saving? I mean, we got Dylan and Bonnie right before. Like, we have knowledge of 3 upcoming characters that aren't released yet. And they're gonna drip marking more any minute now. But yeah, that's basically it. Let me know what you think down below. Are you excited for the future of Zenless Zone Zero? I feel like I'm very, very excited. I do feel like the devs explained a lot of the story though that I didn't want them to. I feel like they spoiled a lot for me, but also like it felt bad knowing that I'm so invested in the main story. But the majority of the fan base is just not as invested as I am, and so the devs have to spoon feed them the lore. And I'm like, dang, am I really the only one that likes the lore to this extent? But that's it, that's all. If you enjoyed the video and you watched this far, please give me a like. I would really appreciate it. Lets me know you guys want more Zenless Zone Zero content, but also it helps the algorithm, alright? We're almost at 1,000 subs. Alright, we gotta push the numbers. We gotta up those numbers, you know what I mean? And also, if you have watched this far and somehow you're not subscribed, then smash that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, because you clearly enjoy my content if you were willing to sit through me yapping for a whopping 27 minutes. How did I get 27 minutes out of a flippin' PNG video? When we are examining a PNG, how did I do this? I don't know. I just have the ability to yap, and I'm gonna keep yapping. It's fun, right? And also, please comment down below. I already asked you to do it, but I'm asking you to do it again because I replied to my comments. At least I try my best to reply to all of them. I love the discussion. It's one of my favorite parts about the gacha community. Alright, especially because I feel like when you just scroll through things, people just tend to have the one opinion. But when you discuss with each other, when we actually communicate, our opinions start shifting back and forth, our ideas start coming forward, and it's such a fun discussion. It is so much fun to talk about this game. Anyways, with that one, hope you all had a good one. Remember, until next time, so I will see you all next time. Bye!